Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday evening. Welcome to this installment of the Property Committee meeting on Thursday, August 8th, 2024. It is 5 p.m. Let's go ahead and bring this evening's meeting to order. We do have enough members here to make a quorum. Thank you very much, Chair Metzger, for sitting in. We do have 3 traditional members missing this evening, but again, we have a quorum to make business with also Member Bloomfield and Member Byrne here. So thank you very much for that. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 2 on the agenda, our consent agenda. That is A, the approval of minutes for July 1st, 2024 regular meeting, as well as the recommended approval of bills and transfers to the county board totaling $548,188.68. Might I have a motion on the floor to go forward with our consent agenda? We have a motion by Member Byrne and a second. We have a second by Member Bloomfield. Comments, questions? Seeing none, let's go ahead and take our consent agenda, the approval of the minutes from July 1, 2024, and the approval of the bills to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 No, any opposed? And the motion carries. Moving right along to item number 3, appearance by members of the public or county employees. Administrator Taylor, have we had anyone appeal to speak?
Chair Lehman, we've had no requests this evening.
All right. No requests this evening means we continue to item number 4 on our agenda with departmental matters. Welcome, Mr. Gaither, our Director of Facilities Management. Looks like Mr. Gaither has 4 items to be presented for action this evening. So our very first item is 4A, 1A. Our request approval of proposal for Taza Construction LLC, Tiles in Style LLC, to replace the flooring in the McLean County Coroner's Morgue. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor for discussion, please? A motion by Member Byrne and a second by Member Bloomfield. Let's go ahead and hear from Mr. Gaither. Any information that you or Mr. Fogler have to share on this matter?
I'm actually going to defer to Scott on all 4 of these items. It's been a busy month, and he is obviously he's been busy as well with getting all 4 of these ready to go. So, but he's up to speed on these, so I'm going to definitely let him carry these.
Thank you. This is going to be a long overdue flooring in the morgue. Right now, the existing flooring is basically non-existent. It had a cushion to it for the people working in there, and that's completely gone. So it's no longer stress relieving. It's got some patches that look real bad. Kind of worries me about being unsanitary as well because we've exposed some concrete. So this is a new floor. It'll have some cushion to it, and it has a microbial finish as well. So. Anyone have questions on it?
Questions from the committee? Chair Metzger.
I'm just curious as to the estimated life. I'm sorry, it's probably in here and I did not see it, but what do they anticipate the life of this floor to be?
25 years.
25, thank you.
Additional comments? I do have a couple questions if I could. One of the things that I noted on here and just wanted to give a call out and give a thank you is I noticed on the disposal of the materials section that there is a segment at the very end that says the owner desires all materials that are acceptable for recycling to be recycled. Thank you all very much for doing your diligence and working with the suppliers and making sure that we have opportunities in there to make sure we're not creating more waste. I did have an additional kind of question or maybe something to put out there. In our equal employment opportunity statement that we have here, it looks like it doesn't call out gender identity. While I know that's inherently covered, but it might be something that would behoove the county to move forward and to look at ways to increase our inclusion, even though the inclusion's already there, making sure that we absolutely call it out even more specifically so that anyone and everyone we're working with really and truly understand that level of inclusion that we have in this county. That part is in page number 8, and it's in the equal employment opportunity segment. It'll be the first sentence after the colon. It does call out, it says, because of race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, marital status, order of protection status, national origin, excuse me, or ancestry, citizenship status, age, physical or mental disability unrelated to ability, military status, or an unfavorable discharge from the military service. So just missing the one important condition there. All right, thank you for the opportunity to bring that up, committee. Any additional comments or questions on this one? Otherwise, we can go ahead and bring the item to a vote. So again, this was 4A1A, the request approval of proposal from Taza Construction LLC Tiles in Style LLC to replace flooring in the McLean County Coroner's Morgue. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Which takes us to 4A1B, the request approval for proposal from Messing Roofing to replace the roof at the Metcom facility. Motion on the floor to discuss. Motion by Member Byrne, and I see a second by Member Bloomfield. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Fogler.
Thank you. We currently have what's called a modified built-up roof on the Metcom. It's a tar and gravel system. We do have a few leaks, and it is past its life expectancy. We're going to replace it with a 3-ply bitumen type roofing finish, and it will have a white reflective surface. Traditionally, it's been more difficult to cool that building than it is to heat it, so we feel like that's the direction to go to kind of reflect some of that solar gain that the building experiences.
Thank you very much. Comments or questions from the committee? I will say great to hear that with this opportunity to redo the roof, that we're looking at ways to keep that building cooler. It certainly is a really important part of our community, and need to keep all the folks in there as well as all of that important equipment cool. So glad to hear that is in play. Seeing no other comments or questions, let's put 4A1B to a vote. That's the request approval of proposal from Messing Roof to replace the roof at Metcom facility. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. On to 4A1C, request approval of proposal from KED Bluestone for engineering work on replacement of UPS system in Law and Justice Center. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor? Motion by Member Byrne and a second by Member Bloomfield. Mr. Fogler.
This is the Law and Justice main UPS system. It's an uninterruptible power supply, mainly for our computer systems and other vital systems. It is about 12 years past its lifespan. We're on borrowed time. It definitely needs replaced. So this is the engineering to put it all together. It's sized with the batteries and the power that we have so that it will not necessarily be the exact same, but we're going to fit it to this building and today's technology. So this is basically a request for the design of that so that we can implement it.
Thank you very much. And questions? Chair Metzger.
I know you're designing it for what we have today. I'm assuming that there will be some capacity for growth. And what percentage of that capacity are you thinking we need?
I think we have about 20%. IT has been a part of these meetings, and that was a concern of theirs, so we are oversized. There are rows of batteries that are calculated for the amount needed, and they have added additional for future use if needed.
Thank you. Other questions? You mentioned that we're on borrowed time with the one that we currently have. With a new system, what's the projected life cycle for something like that?
20 years.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Additional question from Member Metzger?
Yes, one more question, and that would be, you're doing the engineering work now, so I'm thinking first of the year before you would have RFPs and responses, so maybe first quarter or second quarter of next year.
My goal is to get it before the end of the year.
Oh,
Can't guarantee it, but that's my goal.
okay, very good, thank you.
All right, let's put 4A, 1C to a vote. That's the request approval for proposal from KED Bluestone for engineering work on replacement of UPS system at the Law and Justice Center. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. On to 4A, 1D, request approval of the change order for boiler project in 200 West Front Street building. Motion on the floor for discussion. Motion by Member Byrne, and I see a second by Member Bloomfield. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Fogler.
This is circumstantial. The fifth floor has our CAC department, and as we have been demoing the existing units and installing new units, there has been some feedback that we're disturbing interviews with children. And because of the situation that they could be in, we obviously do not want to interrupt that in any way. Unfortunately, the pumps for the new boiler system sit directly over that. We feel it's best to put these anti-vibration pads underneath the pumps so that we don't disturb them at all. They originally were up above, they were hung, now they're gonna be down on a slab, so it's a different design. And I just wanna make sure that we don't disturb them and can keep it a quiet area for them.
Thank you very much. Comments or questions, Member Byrne?
So you mentioned this is part of the ongoing construction projects and the ongoing demonstration. So the pumps that are currently installed above the CAC, is this a temporary location and they will be eventually moved?
No, the existing pumps were not on this slab that is directly above. They were up above, so they didn't cause any noise or problems. But with the redesign, they need to be down on the pad requirements by the manufacturer. So we need to add these pads to gap between the pumps and the concrete pad that they'll be on.
So the pumps are still above where the CAC is currently located?
Correct.
Okay.
Chair Metzger.
Total cost, is this just of the pads, is 7,400?
I believe so. I think the total was around 15. That's labor and everything included. Basically, they agreed to do it time and material. They're gonna bill us cost
Okay.
because they understand the situation. They're not trying to make money off us for a simple change order. They agree. So they're doing it for cost.
Okay, thank you.
Back to Member Byrne.
Do we have any measurements about how much noise reduction we can expect?
They tell me we will have no concern with noise traveling through the pad after these are installed. From my experience, that is true. They make a big difference.
But we don't have any way to quantify that, like we anticipate an 80% reduction in sound or vibration or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, thank you.
Just off of Member Byrne's recent question, if it does come out that there is a significant, that, you know, something's happened with these pads and there is a significant noise piece in there, is there any kind of, you know, would they be willing to redo anything, or is there any kind of recourse with it?
I don't know exactly what that would be because usually the pads are successful. PIPCO has been absolutely wonderful to work with, so I have no doubt that if we have a problem, they're going to make it right.
Great, that's great to hear. And then finally, with a product like this, is it something that we would look towards any future boiler replacements, going ahead and just adding this in? Or do we see this as a necessary thing because of that particular facility and location and because of the users directly below?
I think it's mainly because of the situation. A lot of times those boiler rooms are going to be in the basement and it doesn't affect anyone. You know, it depends on the thickness of the pad and the manufacturer's recommendations and how it's piped and things like that. It's mostly circumstantial, just because of the area that it's in and the experiences we had during demo.
Well, thank you very much to you and your team for identifying a problem and a way that we could make it better, especially for some of the residents of McLean County that need help the most in those times. So thanks for the work that you're doing in the facility side with it. let's go ahead and take this one to a vote. Item number 4A1D, that's the request approval of a change order for boiler project in 200 West Front Street building. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Thank you very much. So we're going on to 4A2. This is where we have items for information. And back over to you, Mr. Gaither, for your monthly report and any additional information you have to share.
Thank you. As most of you probably remember, last month we met to get approval for the agreement to repave the parking lots for the 200 West Front Street building and the west side of the Law and Justice building. That started on Monday. Through this process, we've identified a lot of plumbing, wiring, conduit, and items that are unmarked under that parking lot. So it's been a challenging week for Jerry Stokes' team. I got to give it to them. They've worked really, really hard to avoid damaging items that we weren't aware were there. Fortunately, most of the items we found are items that are abandoned in place. Unfortunately, one of the items we did locate was a electric conduit that feeds our fire pump at the Health Department building, the 200 West Front Street building. The conduit was damaged. However, the wiring inside has not been, and the pump is still 100% operational in the building. That does require repair, as well as upon speaking with the electrical inspector for the city, we are not up to, we're not compliant on the depth of that conduit. So we are working this weekend with Weber Electric to replumb that electrical conduit and lower it to a depth of 24 inches. We also discovered the conduit for our parking lot lights. When that parking lot was originally done, the wiring was, the conduit for that wiring was laid at surface at the time prior to the asphalt being laid. So it is right below grade of asphalt. We did not hit it when they took the top 2 inches off, but we did locate it as they were working to put the additional drainage into that parking lot. It has not been damaged, but it also has to be lowered to a depth of 24 inches. We are working to get that all completed as quickly as we can to not delay Jerry's team any more than what we have to. So we are working on that this weekend. We've got Weber Electric has agreed to be here. Ameren will be here, and we will keep working on that to keep them, keep from delaying Jerry's team. Stark's been great. The highway department's been fabulous. So I can't say enough about the collaboration on this. It's been really good. It's been hectic. I mean, you know, when you find things that you weren't expecting, but we're also working with our IT department, and we're it's GIS, but it's essentially GPSing each one of those lines as we locate those. And so we will actually have upon completion of this project, we will have a fully mapped parking lot of all the items that are below grade in that moving forward, so that we will leave it better than we found it. So hopefully the next team that works on this won't run into situations like we have. So I just wanted to give an update on that ongoing project.
Might I ask a question on this
Absolutely.
one before we go forward?
Yeah, absolutely.
So absolutely appreciate that you all are working and putting out GIS maps as a portion of this. Do we typically have maps for our county-related parking lots that would identify those things? Or is this like a brand-new thing that we would go forward in having parking lot maps to show where there's electrical?
Well, I would absolutely love to say we do.
Okay.
We have maps, but as we're finding out, there are lots of either upgrades or missing items on those. So we try our best to Julie everything that we can. And then in this case, we've had additional locators come out to locate what's considered private property that Julie doesn't do. unfortunately, still, you can't always. We knew the parking lot lights were approximately 7 inches. It was 4 to 7 inches, and unfortunately, it was at the 4-inch level, not the 7-inch level, but we were lucky enough that we didn't hit it, so, yeah, so it's, I mean, they're not, and I don't, from what I've seen, most parking lots are not always, until you have a modern day renovation on them, they're not mapped, and definitely they're not GIS, so.
Thank you for your efforts
You're
to
welcome.
move us into a better future state. Any questions on this particular matter before we? Okay. Thank you for that update.
Oh, you're welcome. Obviously, it's been a busy month. We've had a lot going on. We've had several people in classes. The boiler projects are moving along for this building and the health department building. We got some pictures in here from the crane work on this building. That was a fun day. We had a lot of observation from different people. It was fun. Those kinds of days are neat when you get a lot of people that you pique their interest and they want to know what's going on. So that was a great one. We're getting ready to move forward with the update on the 2 old triage rooms at the health department. We have a meeting scheduled with the LS Mechanical in Widmer. Actually, I think that was this morning, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Ryan Wetzel, our project, one of our foreman on our team, actually it's one of his first projects that we're putting him in charge of. So he's doing a great job on it. So, but he met with Jessica's team and LS Mechanical in Widmer this morning to set a date to start that project, and so that should be starting here in the next week or two. Yeah, we just we've got a lot going on, obviously, and we had several people attend classes this last month, which was great. We had 5 of our team members, including Scott, attended an asbestos awareness training class through Ideal Environmental. Don Hartley went to the class last month on the locksmithing, and we parlayed that into a Slodge lock servicing course this past month that actually is an accredited course that gives him hours towards his continued education for his certification. And we started Brad Runge in his process of learning more about the locks that we use throughout the county. Linda completed her online FOIA training course, so that we'll have somebody within our department that can kind of help the load that we've put on Trevor's team. So I know we've put a lot on you guys with the FOIA stuff here the last 8, 10, 12 months, and so we thought, if there's something we can do to help with that, and that was identified. And so Linda's been great about expanding her role. And then, of course, to wrap that up, Scott and I both completed our level 1 building operator certification. So yeah, it's been a busy month. So.
That certainly sounds like you all have been busy. I just have to give a little bit of shout out and celebration to you and to the team that you run, as well as to administration, for setting such a great example for continuing development, for continuing to invest in the talent that we have in the county, for continuing to focus on getting folks to the next level, not only with various courses and certification and continuing to learn, but also giving new folks an opportunity to maybe flex some of their skills and do some project management. Absolutely love hearing about that, and can't wait to see all the fruits of that labor coming through. Comments or questions from the committee on the report?
Just to extend on that, thanks for prioritizing continuing education. It can only benefit us.
Thank you all so very much for all of your service to the county. And that takes us over to our next agenda item, where we have the opportunity to reconnect here now with Mr. Steffa, our Director of Parks and Recreation. So Mr. Steffa has nothing to be presented for action this evening, but in B2, we've got your monthly report. So Mr. Steffa.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to highlight a couple things. we did get the new mooring docks finally completed, installed, constructed. I apologize. I believe I scanned two different documents, one with and without pictures. I do have some pictures here, or if you'd rather come out in person, we'd love to have you to see those. But those are installed, and we're already utilizing a waiting list to get those some of those filled for the remainder of the year. So that's a good thing. The other thing I wanted to point out was our work on the wetland, the new wetland on the east side of the park. It didn't start last week. It did start this past Monday. Good weather means work moving forward rather quickly. So Mr. Jared Boyle, who's doing the excavation and construction work, is moving at a really fast pace. So we're anticipating that's going to be done by the end of next week. So again, I will take pictures and put those in the report for next, I almost said next year, next month. But again, if you'd like to come out and see that in person, or if you need a tour, I'd be happy to take anybody to see that. So that being said, that's kind of the highlight of my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Questions from the committee? Looking forward to September, to hearing a little bit more about what comes from the next connection with Baxter and Woodman on the sewage treatment plant. So that's been certainly a long project coming. So excited to hear what happens when we get to the next stages. So thank you to you and your team for, I'm sure, all the countless meetings that have brought us to this place for a resolution there.
And I appreciate the help that Tony Grant's been doing on this project too, as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grant. And then just wanted to call out how exciting it is to see some of those possible park amenities that could be coming out to Comlara. So the wheelchair accessible paved nature trail, accessible fishing dock, and then the beach upgrades. So excited to hear more about that in future meetings to see how we can get that into play for our residents.
And that's a learning experience for me too, so.
Yeah. We're all learning here, right? Like the county continues to grow. Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Steffa. Certainly know it's a busy season for you and your staff. So thanks for everything that you've done to, really give a great experience for McLean County residents and visitors at the park.
Thank you.
Let's continue on
I do
to,
have a
yeah,
question, and
please,
I just
Administrator.
wanted to, you mentioned that we had some minor damage from a storm. That damage did not require any property or casualty insurance. It was just.
No, it was
Okay.
just tree limbs,
Okay.
basically.
Very good, thank you.
All right. Thank you again very much, Mr. Steffa. Let's go ahead and continue on to Administrator Taylor, who has no items to be presented for action this evening, but anything for information.
I don't have anything to report tonight.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Administration. Moving on to item number 5, other business and communications. Our next meeting is going to be September 5th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Any other comments or questions from the committee this evening? Again, thank you all for being here so we could conduct business. We did have some exciting business to conduct. And thank you all for your service to the county. This meeting is adjourned.